At the end of the day, it's just what happens at the end of the night. I'm not in there to try and knock Jake out in 10 seconds or 8 rounds. I'm going to go in there and do a job. I'm going to want to hurt him. You know, I'm going to want to really hurt him in the ring. If that's what I want to do. That's what I'm here to do.
The atmosphere was already electric, but nobody expected Jake Paul to pull this. Today's press conference between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua wasn't just hype. It was a full-blown psychological experiment. And Jake walked in determined to flip the energy in the room. And somehow he actually shocked AJ. Not with force, but with mind games. Let's break it all down. So the moment everyone's talking about, Jake Paul suddenly walked up on Anthony Joshua mid-press conference. Fast, aggressive, confident, as if he was about to swing. But let's be honest, Jake knew security would step in. He knew Joshua wouldn't touch him when they're surrounded by cameras. He knew he was safe, and that's exactly why he did it.
Step back a little bit. Guys, step back.
It wasn't a real attack. It wasn't a real ambush. Jake Paul is not charging at Anthony Joshua with violent intentions. Because let's face it, AJ is an Olympic gold medalist who would fold Jake in 2 seconds if he actually tried that. This was pure mind games, straight out of Jake Paul's playbook. And honestly, AJ looked surprised for a second. Not scared, but confused. Like, is this guy serious right now?
Dan, it's good. Dan, don't take disrespect lightly, you know. Don't sit on the table telling me we can go now and do all of this and that and try to call me out.
Right, can we call that a cut?
Yeah.
Then came the face-off at the presser. In person, the size difference was unbelievable. AJ looked like a tank. Jake looked like an influencer standing next to a Greek statue. AJ wasn't just taller. He was wider, thicker, heavier, stronger, everything.
I think Jake Paul had a big realization when he did that face-to-face of AJ.
How big you are. Yeah. I think it was a real...
When he looked to AJ's chest and he actually looked up, it was so much Rocky Balboa, Ivan Drago. It was that.
It was that real come to Jesus moment where it's like, oh wow, you are bigger than you look in those pictures.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sure he must have went leaving that press conference thinking, I am so glad I'm getting well paid.
But Jake, he kept talking. He kept smiling. He kept selling the idea that he's going to expose Anthony Joshua, which sounds insane. Let's be honest, Jake Paul saying he's going to expose AJ, an Olympic champion, is one of the most delusional sentences ever spoken in a press conference.
I'm knocking this guy out, becoming the CEO of Matchroom Boxing and changing the plans, and it's going to be me versus Tyson Fury next year.
Yeah, if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to break his face, I'm going to break his body up, I'm going to stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality, and I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'll do that until I finish fighting.
But that's what makes Jake Jake. He believes what he says. And the craziest part, you can see it in his eyes. He genuinely isn't joking. He genuinely believes he's got something AJ has never seen.
I think the first head-to-head that they had where Jake Paul's like looking up and then looking down, I think like that's when it'll have dawned on him like, what am I doing here?
Eddie's belief, and whether you subscribe to Eddie's views on this, is that he genuinely believes that Jake Paul doesn't know what he's walking into, doesn't seem to have a regard for what he's walking into, is slightly deluded about it, thinks that Anthony's a bit chinny, and thinks he has a chance in this fight. Now, I don't know about you boys, but unless you've lived under a stone, you know that Anthony Joshua can punch. The only debate about Anthony Joshua is not the physicality of Anthony Joshua, it's the psychology of him. There's going to be no psychological damage to Anthony Joshua when he walks in against Jake Paul. This has jeopardy written all over it, doesn't it?
Jake Paul, though, is actually deluded enough to believe that if he gets inside, that he's got...
Is he?
He must be, Simon, otherwise the fight wouldn't be going ahead. He truly believes that he can win this fight. He doesn't realise that there's levels to this game.
I mean, he's stupid in a good way, but I'm actually praising him. He's stupidly deluded in the fact that he thinks he can do it. That's probably why he's as successful as he is. I think with Jake Paul at the moment, though, you've started, so you've got to finish. He's put the bluff on. I think the first head-to-head that they had where Jake Paul's like looking up and then looking down, I think like that's when it'll have dawned on him like, what am I doing?
One of the biggest surprises was Deontay Wilder being in the building. Wilder looked at Jake and AJ face to face and knew something was not right. He genuinely believes this fight might be scripted. Why? Because the size difference is insane. Wilder literally couldn't understand how a guy built like Jake could be sanctioned to fight a guy built like AJ.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua is a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's current, he's active, you know, and this is going to be the first time that we see Paul, you know, fighting an active fighter. You know what I mean? We seen the Mike Tyson, that was all fun, that was cute, you know what I'm saying? It's fun and games and stuff, but now you're dealing with a real professional, you know, and so we'll see how it ends up you know, like I said, I think it's scripted, but, you know, we're going to see. At the end of the day, I just want everybody to have fun. I want them to enjoy themselves because we risk our lives for others' entertainment, and just go home safely, to be able to have memories and say we did a great job.
Thank you. Let's get a bomb squad to end.
He said this matchup looks like something that would only happen if boxing wanted a show, because to him it's a mismatch on every possible level, and every other pro agrees.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. I don't think I've spoken to you about this fight. Just what do you make of it a week out?
On a personal level, I don't think that the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight should be happening. That's just on my personal level. For health and safety reasons.
Then we had Derek Chisora, who showed up and gave possibly the most savage take of the day. Chisora said Jake Paul will be fine even if he ends up being wheeled around for the rest of his life after this fight, because Jake has money and can afford full-time care.
You spoke about it with Duke McKenzie, but what about the risk for Jake Paul? Are people not talking about what he's going to go into and what he could potentially come out as because of the dangers that Anthony Joshua poses as a heavy-hitting heavyweight?
At least he can park his fucking Bugatti on the handicap sign now if he gets injured. Listen, Jake Paul be all right. AJ's gonna lay him out. You know, he's got enough money to be fucking pushing a wheelchair for the rest of his life, so that's okay.
Would you be disappointed or annoyed if the fight went the distance given AJ's accolades in the sport?
If Anthony Joshua goes 8 rounds with our guy, I'll be pissed off. Do you understand? Yeah? AJ should not go 8 rounds with that guy. AJ should go in there and fucking knock him out. Yeah? That is as simple as. If AJ try and go in there fucking 8 rounds, we got a problem in boxing. That is it. We don't want AJ to go in there and fuck around. He has to go there and fucking lay him out. But knowing AJ's gonna fucking knock him out.
But do you think AJ might think like, look, I know he's not as good as me, so I might just take it a bit easy and, you know, give people a show.
If he goes past 3-4 rounds, we're turning off the Netflix.
What about Terence Crawford and the belts? He's been vocal about the situation regarding the belts and the sanction fees. What do you think about that?
He's right. Why should the WBC take 300,000 of him? For what reason? What reason? What reason do they have the right to take his money away from him like that?
Their argument is that they've helped build him up with the WBC title. It's been on all his fights. They agreed a percentage, but Terence Crawford didn't want to pay it. That's their argument.
But half of the time, how much were they taking? Do you understand? It's like, you have to understand this. And then
but Chisora didn't stop there. He said if this fight goes past 2 rounds, he's turning off Netflix. He's done. Jake should not survive that long with someone like AJ as well.
This is what the WBC, how many WBC belts are there now? There's so many. Yeah? There's so many fucking belts. We don't even know which ones are fucking important, bro. Do you understand? There's so fucking many belts. Everybody can have a 10 fight and be fucking retired and say, oh, I won for WBC African world champion. What the fuck is that? There's only one fucking world champion, one belt that was there, the WBC. Yeah, there should be, all the belts should be there. Yeah, but anything else below that, fuck that, man.
Jack, last thing, Usyk versus Wilder. If that fight does happen, what do you think about it?
Who's paying for it? Let me know.
Not Usyk versus Fabio Wardley.
Usyk versus Fabio Wardley.
And people online started wondering, is there something in the contract? Are they making AJ drag this out? Is this supposed to be a long fight? That rumor started catching fire. So Eddie Hearn stepped in. Eddie Hearn shut every rumor down immediately. According to him, there's no contract trick, no drag it out for entertainment clause, no fake drama. He said that AJ is going to go in there and put Paul on the canvas. He said AJ isn't there to play games.
Obviously, a lot of people going into this fight, Eddie, they're expecting quite a demolition job from Anthony Joshua. You expect him saying like a round,
whenever he wants. I mean, I don't think AJ's not the kind of guy that's going to start kind of messing around and doing 3 or 4 rounds. And you know, you get some people go, yeah, I bet there's something in the contract where it's like, don't be ridiculous. I mean, you know, I wouldn't even allow that, let alone AJ. He's going to go in there and he's going to do a job on it. We don't play around in boxing. It's not the sport to play around and start doing rounds. No, we're going to go out there. Obviously, AJ hasn't boxed for 14 months, but you know, I don't know. People say if it goes past 1 round, AJ's a joke. It's like, oh blimey, okay, can we have 2 rounds? But I expect it to be over in a round.
Amir Khan also weighed in, saying Jake's team looks more focused on the payday than Jake's actual safety. He warned that AJ isn't a YouTuber or a gimmick opponent. He's a real heavyweight who can seriously damage Jake. To Khan, Jake's camp might see money, but they're ignoring the real risk Jake is walking into.
But AJ, by knockout, brutal knockout, Nakisa is making a big mistake putting Jake Paul in a fight like this because he's gonna want to see him get hurt. I mean, these guys are going for the money, where really, you know, he has a life after boxing as well. Let's hope he comes out the ring in one piece.
Could I ask you individually, why are they doing this? So start with AJ, why is he doing this?
AJ, if I was AJ, I'd do the same thing, because at the end of the day, you're fighting a YouTuber, and why not? I mean, getting paid millions and millions of pounds. And why is Jake doing? Jake's just doing it for probably the fan following. Maybe he wants to get the boxing audience. But look, who knows? I mean, anything can happen in boxing. 1 punch can change the fight, but I just don't think he has that 1 punch to change the fight. It does Jake Paul.
Now, here's the twist. Kubra Pulv, a guy who actually fought AJ before, thinks there's a chance Jake can win. Yes, Pulv, a former heavyweight world title challenger, a man who felt AJ's power firsthand. He said, "This is boxing. Anything can happen, including Jake Paul knocking out Anthony Joshua." His point was simple. AJ has been dropped before. He's human. 1 punch can change everything. It shocked people because Pulv is the last guy you'd expect to give Jake hope, but he did, and most fans started agreeing.
Do you think he can win, Jake Paul?
I think it's a possibility. No one is backing Jake Paul currently. You've seen him in the ring. You can see that he's got some knockout power. And I also believe people don't look at Joshua's last few fights. And I don't think it's going to be as big of a landslide as people feel. I feel like there's an overhand right that could easily land, and I wouldn't predict that Joshua's chin can last that. The problem is that all of the pressure's on Joshua at the moment. So Jake Paul, if he gets knocked out in 12 seconds, he should get knocked out. The problem is, as soon as Joshua starts taking damage, all of a sudden he's thinking, the world is watching me, I'm a professional fighter, and I'm getting beat off a YouTuber. All of the pressure is in Joshua, and that's a lot that can weigh on a man. You can't deny that Jake Paul has power. I think it's one of his only attributes. I think he's a very poor boxer, but what he does have is a weird technique where you don't know what
he's got power. How do we know he's got power?
He's knocked people out. Joshua has all of the world looking at him thinking you should walk him over. If it gets 2 rounds, 3 rounds inside, I think Joshua loses.
Johnny Nelson came with a different approach. He said Jay cannot beat AJ under any circumstances. It's absurd. But he also said AJ shouldn't just walk in and blast him out in 20 seconds. He said Joshua should break Jake down, hurt him slowly, and make him want to quit. Basically, make Jake Paul rethink boxing forever. Johnny wants AJ to teach a lesson, not just take him out quickly. Gareth A. Davies had an interesting perspective. He said the pressure is actually on AJ, not Jake, because everyone expects a knockout. Everyone expects dominance. Everyone expects AJ to win easily. So AJ has to deliver, and this has been brought by many experts before.
Do you think he can win, Jake Paul?
I think it's a possibility. No one is backing Jake Paul currently. You've seen him in the ring. You can see that he's got some knockout power. And I also believe people don't look at Joshua's last few fights. And I don't think it's going to be as big of a landslide as people feel. I feel like there's an overhand right that could easily land, and I wouldn't predict that Joshua's chin can last that. The problem is that all of the pressure's on Joshua at the moment. So Jake Paul, if he gets knocked out in 12 seconds, he should get knocked out. The problem is, as soon as Joshua starts taking damage, all of a sudden he's thinking, the world is watching me, I'm a professional fighter, and I'm getting beat off a YouTuber. All of the pressure is in Joshua, and that's a lot that can weigh on a man. You can't deny that Jake Paul has power. I think it's one of his only attributes. I think he's a very poor boxer, but what he does have is a weird technique where you don't know what
he's got power. How do we know he's got power?
He's knocked people out. Joshua has all of the world looking at him thinking you should walk him over. If it gets 2 rounds, 3 rounds inside, I think Joshua loses.
Gareth also said AJ didn't sound like himself, almost like the expectation is weighing on him. And he confirmed Anthony Joshua is taking this fight very seriously. Full camp, full sparring, full preparation, like he's fighting a top heavyweight. That alone should terrify Jake because AJ isn't playing. Jake Paul sat down for interviews after the press conference. And this might be the craziest part of the entire story. He wasn't trolling. He was dead serious when he said that he could beat Anthony Joshua. And the way he explained it, he really believes he has the strategy, the IQ, the timing, and the punch to shock the world. Everyone else thinks Jake is delusional. But to Jake, he's totally sane. He believes he's on the same level as these elite heavyweights. Even though AJ is bigger, more skilled, and more experienced, Jake still thinks he can pull it off. And that belief, real or delusional, is what keeps Jake dangerous inside the ring.
Do you think you're going to knock him out?
Yeah, 100%. I see holes in his game of where I can land a big shot.
Okay.
100%. It's going to be a very, 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 very tough fight.
Do you think this is your hardest opponent?
Yeah, by far.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, bro, I'm just outgunned in every category.
Logan, what do you think about him fighting Anthony Joshua?
I think it's insane.
Yeah.
I think it's insane. But there's a reason why he's Jake Paul, and like this is
what he does.
Yeah. Like.
Now here's the truth. No matter how delusional Jake sounds, no matter how surely Jake will get knocked out, you have to respect him. He's stepping into a ring with Anthony Joshua, one of the most dangerous heavyweight punchers of the modern era.
Jake is fine, AJ.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to give him props.
Fair
Fair play, Jake. That is a big fight.
props.
I mean, AJ should knock him out.
It is a weird one. Like, am I just being stupid? Like, is he not just going to wig him?
AJ by Soap being dropped in prison. AJ by brutal Bonnie Blue scene. AJ by just something vile.
Him even stepping up to fight AJ is
AJ two-time heavyweight world champion. Yeah, no joke.
This isn't safe. This isn't smart. This is bravery or insanity or both. Jake is risking real physical damage, real consequences, real danger. And most influencers would never agree to something like this. Jake might get smoked, but he's showing hard by even walking forward.
The Joshua thing is crazy.
Is that a real conversation?
Jake's a fucking lunatic, and it's probably real. I saw Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou, and the guy was like out cold for 5 minutes. And this is a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone knocked out.
If he steps in the ring with him, and actually a bell rings and there are punches thrown, every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer conversation is gone.
But here's the part that truly changes everything. Anthony Joshua is now training under Alexander Usyk's system. Yes, the same Usyk who outboxed, outsmarted, and straight up solved Joshua twice is now indirectly helping him prepare. This is insane. Joshua has entered Usyk's camp, Usyk's environment, Usyk's training methods, surrounded by the same coaches, the same technicians, the same geniuses who created the blueprint that beat Tyson Fury.
Why do you want to help Anthony Joshua?
Why Anthony Joshua? I think it's answer only for God, because Anthony very have, I think, education, like a kind of guy. We speak with Anthony, message. Now we speak on phone, not Instagram, but I have a number, Anthony have number. For example, we drive in a car. He called me, hey champ, hello, how are you? Blah 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 blah. We joking, hey, good luck training, because I see this guy in the gym. My team, hey, Alex, hello, hey brother. Good training. It's guy. I like this guy because this is guy smart. I think this guy have very big heart. Anthony.
Yes, people think you will make him fight like you.
People aren't talking about this enough. AJ isn't doing this for Jake Paul. Jake is just collateral damage. AJ is sharpening himself for the real mission, Tyson Fury. By putting himself in Usyk's world, AJ is absorbing the footwork, the rhythm, the angles, the IQ, the conditioning, all the things that made Usyk the best heavyweight on earth.
AJ's always plotting his next move. I believe him teaming up with Usyk is more than him just training with the best. It's him targeting Fury. Who better to learn from than the team that beat him twice, killed two birds with one stone? The same reason he was training with Ben Davison, Tyson's former trainer, to get inside knowledge. And yes, the partnership did not work, but I'm pretty sure he would have picked up some valuable info on Tyson. Will it be enough? I'm not sure, because AJ needs to be mentally right. But I've always said, stylistically, AJ's all wrong for Fury. If Team Usyk can bring out AJ's strengths, get him mentally right, you know, the attacking version of AJ, my mind's not changed. He's a nightmare for Tyson Fury. I also think that AJ is better suited to Usyk's team because they're all about boxing's fundamentals and solid basics. And when I say that, I mean to the highest degree.
So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.